Hello and welcome to this episode of Kennedy Saves the World. I'm in the best mood because this election is so fun and I just wish it could go on forever. I know who agrees with me. Jimmy Failla!
Yay! There he is. Jimmy, the crowd goes nuts.
Jimmy, there are only two honest metrics in this election. And I'm happy it's over tomorrow because it doesn't matter. Everything's stupid, everything's silly, everything's going to be the same. There's not going to be civil war. If you really care about it, you're dumb.
Yep.
Not really. I don't mean that people are... You know exactly what I'm saying. Like, the world is not going to end if your candidate is not elected.
Thank you. And a good way to point that out, I'm sorry.
The betting lines
Yep.
and the internal polling.
Yep.
The betting lines are fickle and changing constantly, more so than the polling. And the internal polling we don't have access to, so naturally I hate it.
Yep. And to build on your point, though, of you being okay if your preferred candidate doesn't win. Okay, Joe Biden is the sitting president right now, and every one of us in this country, to a person, believes he's not actually in charge. Yet we're still here.
Especially those closest to him.
Yeah, the people who know him the best.
Yes, know that we really don't have a president right now.
So if your guy doesn't win tomorrow...
We don't even have an interim president.
Or your gal doesn't win tomorrow. We're currently doing it without a president. So we're going to be okay. Let's be mindful of that. Betting lines always tighten before the election.
You told
I
me
mentioned
that
this Saturday.
On Saturday, before Fox News Saturday night, which was a phenomenal show, by the way.
What a hot one.
I mean, first of all, the show is on fire. Second of all, the fact that you had Brian Brenberg, Emily Compagno, and me as your panel made me so happy.
Because it was like
and
our
I'm
friends.
hoping that translates. Those are people who literally,
they loved it so
like
much.
the four of us hang out all the time.
Yeah, like actually, we were doing a TV show that could have happened in any one of our houses.
Like we collectively have gotten kicked out of maybe 6 steakhouses in New York.
That's true. I'm literally banned from one very close to the premises. But anyway, let's have this talk. Okay. When it comes to the betting odds, what bookmakers are ultimately in the market of doing, or in the business of doing, is turning a profit. And they can't turn a profit if the bets are heavily weighted to one side.
Okay, can I just tell you something very quickly? I just want to stop. I want you to pick up exactly where you are. But this needs to be said.
Yes.
The exact same thing is happening with pollsters.
Yeah, of course.
The pollsters also, for whatever reason, and I don't know if it's the various polling apparatuses at the networks and the newspapers, but they need it to be close. It's better for everyone if it's close.
Absolutely.
It also may be completely dishonest, but they all make more money the closer it is.
And there's a lot of, for the bookies, it's financial. Okay, for the pollsters, I don't doubt there's a financial implication, but it's also just a credibility, a currency of credibility. There's a lot of ass covering when you get close to actual game day. And what the bookies are doing, just so everybody can fathom this, is let's say the Yankees are playing the Dodgers in the World Series. Not that that would ever happen, but I'm just saying in general.
It won't happen again, but sure.
Not the way we went. Man, oh boy, oh man. But stick with me, folks. In order for bookmakers to turn a profit on sports betting, they don't make their money off one team winning or losing. They make it off what's called the juice, the 10% fee that they charge the losing side of the bet. Do you follow me so far?
Yes.
So in the NFL...
I did not know from the juice.
Yeah, so in the NFL, the juice would be, to give you an example, the Jets this past week, okay? In that particular matchup, they won an even amount of money on each side of the game. So no matter who wins, they don't stand to pay out more than the 10% they're going to collect on the juice.
So it's better for them the closer it is.
They want $1 million. Seriously, the Jets are playing the Giants tonight. They want $1 million on the Jets, $1 million on the Giants because they pay $1 million to the winning side. The losing side pays them the $1 million back plus 10%. They're profitable. So what happens at a lot of these poly markets and stuff, which is not the same as a point spread, and it wouldn't be the same as a traditional sports bet. That being said, there's still a liability out there. If 66% of the money is on Trump and he wins, these bookmakers just lost a lot of money. Okay, so they make the Kamala line more attractive in an effort to lay off their bets. They put money on the Kamala side of this, so come game day, they're equally weighted on both sides of the election. So my prediction, okay, is they are reflective of sentiment, meaning there could be more people betting one side than the other. But my prediction is this will close smaller than a 5-point edge for Trump, because they don't want to be that overexposed.
Yes.
That's where we are.
So it is close because you've got Emerson that was like, no, he's up by 9 points. Nate Silver said last week he's up by 10. Nate Silver yesterday was like, no, he's up by half a point.
Yeah.
So it's like it is all over the map. The only thing I can glean from that, if this is an honest enterprise, is that people are changing their minds.
Yeah.
And if they're answering more than one phone call or text from a pollster, they're saying a different candidate every time. I really feel that way.
It's very
like
possible.
I feel that there are enough people who are moody and unstable.
Yeah.
That they are either lying.
We call them my fans.
It is now like the new sadism, and they're doing it to be cruel, or they're like, no, I like her today. I just do. I like her, and I don't have to tell you why.
Funny metric, but the New York Times analysis yesterday said Democrats are 16% more likely to respond to a poll than Republicans. So everything is overweighted on the Democrat side. Now, regardless of whether or not they're skewing their answers, it's probably impossible to quantify Trump's support. So if he's historically understated and he's up a point in these races, he's probably winning.
But the New York Times are a bunch of snobs, and they're like, ew, I'm not going to call Alabama. Gross.
Why are they even a state in the first place? What do you mean?
I am not calling those people.
But that's
they're
the
garbage. His supporters are garbage.
But that's what we're down to. And honestly, what I'm hoping for is if he wins in a roundabout way, we've witnessed the end of identity politics, because so much of the last 8 years of this country, and Obama's largely responsible for that, is I really resent one thing about Obama, in that he's out there this weekend making the both sides claim again. A claim that has been debunked, okay?
Yes. She's done it the whole time.
I know.
It's so stupid.
Let's be very clear.
It's like if you've run out of ideas, then just peddle a myth.
And none of us, none of us ever listen to Trump speak and go, well, that was written by a strategist. Okay. You always know it's some inartful.
Clearly focus group that line. The Arnold Palmer thing. They ran that past 35-plus college-educated white women, and they loved it.
No, we need you to get out there and tell a story just off script about Arnold Palmer's junk. That's what the focus group wants. Okay. Clearly, Trump is riffing in just about everything he does. So
I think he got overly confident the last 3 weeks of the race.
He definitely,
I really do, and that's where the internal polling comes in, because his internal polling, to borrow a term from him, showed that she was being schlonged.
Yeah. I love that one. She got schlonged.
Yeah. And her internal polling, according to Democrats in the know, is phenomenal. And that's why she has been so giddy. It looks like she's at a rave.
Don't go anywhere. More Kennedy Saves the World right after this.
But I also wonder if for that reason they're actually, to that point, making her chemically jubilant, and opiating her for an inevitably bad night. I don't know the answer to that. But someone told me that there's almost this confidence scheme going on the left, where they're so concerned with down ballot turnout, they're just not leveling with people about how bad she's doing. And the beauty of all of this speculation is we have no idea.
But my problem with that is I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with speculation. I don't have a problem with theatrics. My problem is that stuff is being used to manipulate people's perception. And if you fuss with it enough, it might change how they vote. Yeah. And that's what bums me out.
I hate it.
I mean, yes, it's on the voter. Like, if you're falling for that stuff, then, the Nigerian prince on Facebook is probably going to get your Social Security check.
And he never gives you the gold bars. If you don't believe me, ask Jenny. Ask Lincoln.
Lincoln was great on your show, by the way.
Yeah, listen, it was a varsity game because he was just hanging out with all the dirtbags that come to my house. I mean, that's literally what he was doing. But Lincoln used to shop at a place called Tokyo Teddy when he was shopping, like back when he was a little kid and first learned how to buy things on the internet.
No.
Yeah, and we had to put a stop to that in a hurry. Because I don't know that any legitimate transaction was going down with you and a gentleman by the name of Tokyo Teddy.
Yeah, that's not
It sounds like a euphemism. I gave her the old Tokyo Teddy.
Lincoln, have you ever tried a Smirnoff Ice? It's yummy.
Are your parents home? So anyway, I think as we sit here, a day away from everybody voting, obviously, we're all kind of a prisoner to our environment in that we consume a lot of, media sources that we prefer. Yeah. Okay. But I think when you work beyond the bubble, you and me, probably more than anybody I know, talk to people who traffic in our content because it's not like the expectation of most media content. And I think we have a wider latitude to see the field than anybody.
It's less confirmation bias, more tickle party.
Thank you. We are absolutely running a tickle. Straight up. It's a cable news tickle party. It's a radio, it's a media tickle party. Straight up. Okay. And I do believe, talking in all these circles, the deciding factor in this race is what we said Saturday night. The social pressure card doesn't work anymore. Okay, it's cooler. You're allowed to vote Trump now in circles where you weren't allowed to admit it before. You can now admit it, which means, yeah, there are still people who won't admit it. But imagine how many people more are engaging him this time around because they made him the cool, fun side.
See, I was thinking about that because, you know, if 3/4 of people are voting because of Trump either way, then fewer people are ashamed to be voting for him. So more people are going to come out, and I would like to see her lose. It's not that I want to see him win because I think his presidency is going to be very annoying. And I know there are a lot of Trump fans who listen, and I don't feel bad saying that because you know it's true. I don't think that he's going to do very much to cut the size of government. I hope that he does put Elon Musk in charge of that, and they shore up the spending and, you know, the national debt, which is an absolute disaster. But I really want her to lose. I want her to lose so badly because I want an honest process from the Democrats. And, you know, they're the ones saying he's a threat to democracy. And I look at this and I'm like, she did not get a single vote cast. Being vice president and being inserted into the ticket, not the same thing.
The guy pulled out of the race via fax 3 hours after every one of his surrogates said on the Sunday shows he was in it to win it. And he said he wasn't going anywhere.
Via fax, that's how I apologized to Rudy Giuliani after I
Is that
serviced
true?
a microphone. That is very true. I had to send a handwritten fax to Mayor Giuliani at the time.
Well, I don't agree with what you did to the mayor. I think you could have took it further. But you could have took it much further. You could have used the microphone for other sex acts, is what I'm saying.
Good point.
Why did you stop at the one sex act?
We didn't have OnlyFans at that point. There was no way of monetizing that moment.
But that being said, to your point, she doesn't deserve to win. And what I think ultimately propels Trump, if we were going to boil it down, okay, is everybody in every profession has seen someone that they know didn't deserve the promotion get it. And it burns their balls. No matter what job you work in. You work at the post office, you're a cop, you're a teacher, no matter what you do. You've seen somebody ascend to a higher rank and everybody was like, wait, seriously? And it really rubs you the wrong way. And I think the fact that she's as inauthentic as she is and she was handed a presidential nomination. There's a baseline resentment there, but then there's this next level resentment, which is Trump has clearly out-hustled her. He has really fought a unique ground war. He's been shot, he's been indicted, he's been impeached, and the dude just kept going. And as a sports fan, it's that perseverance factor of being the busier fighter.
Are you saying he's our Rudy?
He's not her. Maybe Rudy, the football player.
Yes, exactly.
Rudy. Okay, Rudy. Yeah, I don't think he's our Giuliani. I don't know that he'll have to sell all his assets when this is over, just most of them. But thankfully, the Bible sales have been good. You know, the Trumpy fish have been good.
Which is nice.
Keep those Trumpy bears selling, folks. Let's go. So, where do we go now?
Yeah.
In the immortal words of Axl Rose, I got Trump getting 312 electoral votes. I actually believe that. It doesn't. I could be wrong.
I still think they're going to tie. I think they're going to tie. There's a way of doing it.
Yeah, the 269 to 269. You're saying President RFK on a contingent election, which would be the funniest thing in the world.
Either that or Nikki Haley.
Do you want it on the books? I think he'll win. I don't think they're capable of letting him be president. And I hate saying it out loud, but I'm not apologizing for the way I feel because I don't have that on fact. I just feel something about that.
If there was ever a time we were going to talk about our honest feelings, it's the day before the election.
And that's where I'm at.
I mean, this is like the very height. The pot has boiled over. There's pasta water all over the stove and all over the floor.
Yep.
So, yeah, if there was ever a time to employ conspiracy theories, because you are not wrong.
No.
It's not Democrats versus Trump. It's the establishment, which is vast and deep.
There's a reason he wants to drain the swamp and a reason it keeps getting higher.
Yeah.
There's a weird clash of the titans going on right now. It's fascinating stuff. Do you remember Antoine Dobson, the guy who's like, so y'all need to hide your kids, hide your wife, and hide your husband because they're raping everybody out here. Remember that guy? Politically, that's where we're at right now. I'm not saying actual criminal sex acts are taking place unless you're going to those Diddy parties with everyone endorsing Kamala.
Was never invited. So it's
we never got the invite.
I'm outraged on a number of levels, but that certainly is still one of them.
It's amazing how in plain sight they get away with that. Like, we tell the jokes, everybody knows it's a thing. The entirety of people P. Diddy has taken a photo with in the last 5 years have endorsed Kamala Harris in the last hour and a half.
Yes.
Everyone. It's crazy.
She's going to get me out of jail.
She's going to land an endorsement from one of the baby oil companies next. They're like, just covering our asses here, guys. Just covering our asses.
Nothing smoother than the First Lady President. Hey. All right, Jim, we'll see what happens tomorrow.
Boom.
This has been Kennedy Saves the World, along with Jimmy Failla and Kennedy.
Listen ad-free with a Fox News Podcast Plus subscription on Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Prime members can listen to this show ad-free on the Amazon Music app. Oh, go ahead and leave me a review while you're there. I'd love to hear what you have to say. You've been listening to Kennedy Saves the World on the Fox News Podcast Network.